together. How about, you know, liquid metal coating and shatter? There we go.
Yeah, that is not good and honest. It might be good. Let's find out.
Stephen Mann, John Death Shadow, the Florida player, with Approacher, top 8 to his name, and a former Players Championship competitor.
Oh, yeah. This man is no stranger to the feature match area.
Thoughtseize for him. Looks like Job on 6 cards here. See, Hex Drinker, the addition here to the Gruul Karn deck. If you haven't seen this one from yesterday, and you're a Legacy player, this is really similar to an Ancient Tomb deck in Legacy.
Right, so this is the type of deck where you're kind of make or break on the back of your opening hand and how powerful you're able to be out of the gates.
Yeah. Because the deck's payoffs are enchantments, it's not a Once Upon a Time deck, but it would be the kind of deck that wants to do that effect if it existed. But yeah, it's make a big Haymaker play early and then kill your opponent before they recover.
Right.
Look to see Utopia Sprawl taken there from Stephen Mann.
Oh my god, Thoughtseize bug.
Oh no, did he just draw the card?
Yeah.
This is, oh gosh. This is what I call getting Thoughtseize tilted, where I would have just rather not known what had happened.
Oh yeah. And in this case, with an Arbor Elf, Utopia Sprawl is basically Soul Ring.
Yeah. Yeah, Hex Drinker up to 3/3, or 3 level ups, which means now it has protection from instants.
That's going to be really hard for Mann to kill here.
Yeah, and especially because of the Sprawl and Arbor Elf, soon it's going to have protection from everything.
Right, yeah, this is a spot where that card is just going to be a 6/6 Progenitus in, let me get my fingers out. Next turn.
Yeah, nice Gurmag Angler. Your 1 mana 5/5 is worse than my 1 mana 6/6 Pro everything. And Hex Drinker card, this is kind of our first big look at it on the feature match, but it's looking pretty nice right now.
So it looks like Mann just found a copy of Assassin's Trophy, and he may be considering going after this forest.
Ooh. Well, he can't go after the Hex Drinker.
Exactly. This is maybe just the way to actually try and attack what Job is building here.
Yeah, I mean, what he ideally would do is that if he didn't have the mana floating right now, he would have waited until, because Arbor Elf's not actually a mana ability, because it's an untap of a forest. It actually uses the stack.
Right.
So you could actually, I mean, if he didn't have the mana floating, if he'd done this on Job's turn, not that it would have been right to do so, he could have waited till the Arbor Elf targeted and then just gotten all of Job's mana.
Sure.
He did it main phase because if he hit a creature, I think he wanted to cast it.
Right.
Back to Job we go. Now down 2 mana from that exchange. Though, still might just level up the Hex Drinker.
Yeah, I mean, there's a point here where with this Simian Spirit Guide, this Hex Drinker is not that far.
Yeah, Stephen Mann down to 8. I actually think it's interesting. There was an argument to put him down to 7 by attacking with the Arbor Elf, because next turn the Hex Drinker plus Elf is 7. But looks like he's just going to go for another Hex Drinker, another Arbor Elf, and then bring the one up to level 4. And then he has the mana here for level 8. I like it.
Ooh. So what Mann needs to find here is a Death Shadow and a Teamer Battle Rage.
To try to just counter attack for the win.
Yes.
Yeah, he's not. I look at the board, and my first thought is, does S-Man play Engineered Explosives? The answer is no.
No.
It'd be a nice draw, though, if he did. This is impressive. I have not seen this Hex Drinker side of Gruul Karn, but I'm gotta admit I like what he's selling right now.
Yeah, and you know, there's certainly a point where, let's see, it looks like at level 8 here, the Hex Drinker's going to be protection from everything.
Right.
So with the Simian Spirit Guide that Mann and Job both know about in Job's hand, a land off the top basically makes it to where even a blocker doesn't save Mann here.
Here's the blocker. It's Tarmogoyf. That's not enough.
Oh, that's probably not good enough here.
Yeah, 5/6. So we already have the 4 more level ups on the table.
Right.
I mean, right. So just on the board, you make a 6/6. S-Man's at 1. 3 more attackers. Tarmogoyf can only block 1 of them. I guess the Arbor Elves would have to tap for mana, but if John... Yeah, I think on the board with a land drop here has it.
Right.
He puts all 3 lands and a Spirit Guide into the Hex Drinker. Okay. Up to 7. This is 8. So unless S-Man has a removal spell, this is lethal.
Yep.
And he doesn't. So game 1 goes to Job. Even with a removal spell, S-Man goes to 1.
Yeah, that is exactly why he needed it to be exactly something like Death Shadow off the top, so he could try and win on the way back.
Yeah, and I think that'd be interesting. If it was a Death Shadow, I wonder if Jonathan Job just says, all right, no attacks. And just says,
waits a turn and says, I'm going to make 2 big Hex
Yeah, it's
Drinkers.
like, I can give them both protection from everything. And when I do, then you're really dead.
Right, you just make one of them big and say, all right, this will go in front of your Death Shadow. Let's do this.
Let's do this. The other one's coming. We go to sideboards. You see Job. That Mycosynth Lattice looks like comes out of the deck. I'm watching him sideboard here. Actually, I do want to mention something. Job, an old school player here, wondering why is he boarding out so many cards. So if you go back to the players who've been playing for a while, one of the ways they like to deceive their opponent in sideboarding is the first thing they do is they take their 15 card sideboard, shove it into their deck, then take all 75, shuffle it up, go through, pull out 15 cards.
Yeah, and this is something that people use to try and conceal information, how much they're actually sideboarding. And
right.
Job in particular plays a bunch of poker.
Job is
kind of his wheelhouse.
He's, he lives in Vegas. He plays poker. He's been playing Magic for a long time. The idea that, because, right, sometimes you can watch a player, you see them pull 4 cards out of their sideboard, 4 out of their main, you say, oh, okay. Job is never going to give you that information for free.
I'm even the kind, it's not the same vein, but I understand the mentality and can empathize pretty strongly. I'm the type where if I trim on a card, when going to game 3, I will swap out copies of the same card if we're not short on time or something, just to conceal or make it appear that I'm changing my game plan between 2 and 3.
So here, how do you feel about this one? Here's what I do. I do a chaos strategy where first I board out.
You just throw your cards in the air and pick 60 and
First I board in 6 cards, and they may or may not be 6 cards. But then I'll shuffle them in, and I'll give it one shuffle, and then I'll be like, wait, hold a second. And then I'll go and grab 3 more cards of the board, shuffle them in, pull the same 3 out, pick up one of them, hem and haw on it for a second, put it back in, and then present. And literally I didn't change any cards, but I'm just like messing around.
Oh my gosh. It's what we call the chaotic neutral. I don't care what happens, but gosh, I just want something to happen.
And at some point we took a card from the sideboard, we accidentally flipped it face up onto the table.
Oh yeah, of course.
And then but it might be a card that's good in the matchup too. I might just actually give you information on one card I boarded in.
I mean, how frequently, like, your opponent's on burn and you go, oh my gosh, they know collective brutality's coming. What a surprise.
What if I take 4 cards out of the sideboard right away, accidentally I bring them in as like a grip, and I accidentally flip one onto the table, and it's a Veil of Summer, and then I put the other 3, and then I go, crap, and then I grab the Veil of Summer and put it back in. Did I just board in 4 Veil of Summer? Or just 1?
Look, I don't know.
Look, it's a fun game. It's a fun game. Maybe I'm that maniac who just has or I'll do a card that's like high impact, like a flip a Blood Moon and be like, ooh, maybe I have 4 of these in the sideboard. Maybe I'm just crazy. Who knows? Who knows what's happening? But when you do that, you have to make it a card that's really high impact. Like if you're playing Titan Shift, accidentally flip like a Summoner's Trap. And then be like, and then they're like, wait, what's this guy doing? Should I counter this Sakura Tribe Elder? Yes or no?
Love to be the judge who gets the mid-deck or mid-sideboard request for the text of Summoner's Trap or Summoning Trap.
Inquisition of Kozilek here from Steve Mann. Hex Drinker, Ancient Grudge, Seasoned Pyromancer, can't take the Karn. Now, that Grudge, if you're wondering here, why is there... All right, because that might look strange. Steven doesn't really play out. You're not really grudging a Mishra's Bauble. Is that Job is a Liquid Metal Coating deck. Takes the Pyromancer.
It's a good thing it wasn't a Thoughtseize, because Man may have wanted to take that Karn.
Might take the Ancient Grudge. No, I think he'd want to take the Karn. Hexdrinker's the play here for Job.
The old Savannah Lizard.
Teamer Battle Rage. Looks like it's been kept in on Steven's side.
This is part of the formula.
All right. Manamorphose for Mann. More lands. Hopefully he has a threat.
Oh,
That'll work. Death Shadow, he did get himself down to 12 here.
Ooh, call that the 1/1.
Yeah, well, now it's interesting, right? Job has to decide if he wants to attack. And that's not clear. I think it's no, because there's just...
Oh, right. There's just nothing good that comes from it. Either Mann says, I would love to lose 2 life, thank you. Or you get got by something like a Street Wraith.
Yeah, that's the worst case scenario. He cycles a Street Wraith and blocks.
Yes.
So the leveling up begins. Hex Drinker to level 1. Man's down to... Death Shadow just a 1/1 right now. We saw that Hex Drinker, once it starts getting into high level territory here, is actually a big problem in this matchup.
Yeah, just having a 6/6 Progenitus is problematic for the deck that needs to attack to win, 1 creature at a time.
It's level 3 that it becomes a 4/4, so that's next turn. Karn the Great Creator from Job. Steven is, and Karn's going to get Liquid Metal Coating. Yeah, that Ancient Grudge is now a very real card.
Oh.
And there's not much Mann can do about this. This is just going to happen.
No, this is a spot where Mann really just needs to find some way to pay a bunch of life.
Yeah, and you see just end step taps his taps his land just to deal damage to himself, nothing else. That Pete land you can do it with. Here's Tarmogoyf. Takes another damage, swings, Death Shadow at the Karn.
So either Hex Drinker or Karn is biting the dust here.
That Grudge in Job's hand is so good. Yeah, Karn's gone, it's done its job. Job feels like Coating plus Grudge should be good enough. I believe he also has another Karn in his hand.
Yep.
So here's Liquid Metal Coating. Ancient Grudge is up. He says go. Ugh.
Breaking through this is such a tall order.
Yeah, Assassin's Trophy in hand for Mann. And do you have to trophy the Liquid Metal Coating? Ugh, that feels bad. Because Job will use that land.
Oh, absolutely. That's just one of the more powerful cards. Which is weird to say about Liquid Metal Coating.
Yeah.
What a sentence.
Well, here's Inquisition of Kozilek. And honestly, he'll probably take the Ancient Grudge if he has the option. So, Job will coat and grudge the Tarmogoyf. And now show a hand where Arbor Elf's the only choice. Karn, Knobsnip, Baloth, the last 2.
Oof.
Yeah, coating is also a combo here with Karn. You just start to eat their lands.
Yep.
Trophy and Teamer Battle Rage is Mann, if you want, going to pull that trigger on Assassin's Trophying a Liquid Metal Coating. It's ooh.
It does not feel good, but
if you don't do it, how do you win?
It feels like you have to.
Right, because it feels like Mann's plan to win here, walk me through this with me, is I think it's to Battle Rage this Death Shadow at some point. And if there's a coating on the board with that Grudge in the graveyard,
it just isn't going to happen.
It's never going to, yeah, I think he has to do it. Now with this extra forest, what it means is that Hex Drinker is going to level up really quickly.
Oh, yeah. And you saw him read that Hex Drinker there to go, how bad is this for me? Was that a Chandra Torture Defiance off the top?
Oh, no. And
that
just kills Death Shadow. Okay.
Oh, my gosh. That's so
And now
brutal.
it just doesn't matter. I mean, Job still has... He's going to attack here. He's just going to win a fair game plan. His hand's Obstinate Baloth plus Karn.
Man needs to find another threat right now.
You know, this Karn, I just don't see it. We're 1 mana away from Karn just being able to plus and cast Wormcoil Engine out of the board. You know, these are things I don't really know what Mann does about that. Jund decks don't deal with Wormcoil Engines very well.
Oh.
You know, Chandra can +2 for mana to cast it. It's just John's going to play the fair deck strat. Here's Renin 6 from Steven Mann. It'll kill the Hex Drinker. Great trade.
Was that Blood Moon off the top?
That's going to... Yes. Oh, that's good against this deck. There's so much to like here. Yeah, Chandra can make mana, so you can Blood Moon and make Karn.
Oh.
Or you can just Baloth and make Blood Moon. And that seems pretty good too.
Yeah, sometimes you just want to play it safe.
7 mana worth of plays here. Yeah, Baloth into play, Mann down to 5. I see 5 power on the board for Job.
Yeah, we take those. Chandra also represents 2 points.
Yeah, so you have to answer Baloth, Chandra, and Arbor Elf. I don't think the man can do it. So he'll answer Arbor Elf. But he is dead to the board. And Job should find it. Man down to 5. Plus his Chandra. Says take 2. Man down to 3. And Baloth seals the deal. So Jonathan, Job, what a dominant showing there for Gruul Karn. Love the deck.
Yeah.